Zambia 3, Ivory Coast 0. Wow, what a result. Firstly, I think congratulations to the national team and everyone that is involved for qualification to the AFCON. And I think we have a lot of work to do to be able to participate effectively at the tournament. After all, there's always room for improvement. Now, after a result like that, mostly the temptation is to analyze the result rather than the performance. But I think from a coaching perspective and from an analytical point of view, we cannot just look at the result, but also just analyze the process that led to the result. And so against that background, just a brief review really on the 3 or 4 key main moments of the game and how everything unfolded. So Zambia set up in what looked like a 1-4-1-4-1 formation, where the back four, you had, most of the times you had 3 up, 3 down, 1 up. So that is a line of 3 at the back. Mostly when you're attacking, then one of the fullbacks would push up. Mostly that was Roderick Gawe. In the midfield you had Kapumbu holding. Then right in front of him you had a 4. Centrally there was Emmanuel Banda, who needed to play what you call the 60-40 role. Then there was a Klings Kangwa, who needed to play the 40-60 role. And then on the wide areas you had the Fashion Sakala on one side, and on the other side you had the Lubambo Msonda and the Patson Daka up top. The thought process there, from what I picked, is that, you know, initially the lineup looked a bit defensive, but I think you needed Lubambo's maturity as far as tracking back is concerned. You need him to do the work off the ball. I think he's much better there than what Lamek would offer you. On the other side, you needed a Fashion to track back. Once or twice he may have been caught off position, but generally I think the setup was really set up not to lose that match, but to remain in the match for as long as possible. I think that was the setup. Attack-wise, I think the message was clear. Rather than the usual box-to-box kind of play, I think the setup was to try as much as possible to hit them on the break. So you would start from the back, maybe the goalkeeper into a centre back, into a central midfielder. The next thing you are seeing is not a circulation of the ball in the middle, but right through the wide areas where you had Luambo and Fashion try and get them on a quick break. Occasionally, once or twice, we saw a ball being threaded into the channel for Patson to work on. And so I think attack-wise, the idea was not to do your usual build-up play, but maybe 1-2 touches, then you find the wide areas and go like that. And I think the idea was chiefly because we only had one sitter in the midfield against maybe 2 attackers, and so the press was going to be so much on him. And for a player that may not really be the best as far as possession is concerned, I think it was a good idea. Were we as effective as we would have desired? In a way, yes, because when you look at I think the 2 goals that were scored, they came from that same kind of thought process. A quick ball trying to get into the wide areas, you know, the ball is intercepted, but it ends up into an own goal. You could say the same about the second goal, which was just basically a direct ball from the middle to Patson Daka. Yes, he had to apply maximum effort there, as it should be, to try and force the goal. The third goal was well crafted, you know, a lot of combination here and there, player moving into a channel, you know, playing the ball across, ideally trying to get the goal, cannons off the post, and you score from there. So generally I think that was the thought process attack-wise. I, however, think that we did not still do as much as we should have, because look, there were cheap possession giveaways, especially in the second half, and I think had the opponent been sharper, we could have possibly been punished from there. Quickly moving on to the attack, to the defense. Defensively, I think the setup was very sound, like I indicated earlier on. Obviously, in the second half, I think we in the first half we failed to deal with the overload in the first, I think, 15 or 20 minutes on our left side, which was their right side. You saw Ivory coming through from that angle and trying to make two fullbacks. Obviously the goalkeeper was perfect in trying to cut those, which he did successfully. And so I think we failed to deal with that overload. That's what I referred to earlier on as having said I think Fashion did not track back to help Roderick, and so he got exposed. They overloaded that part, but apart from that I think we did fairly well defensively. The structure was there to see. If I may add, I think it's as far as the defensive shape is concerned, it's one of the best I've seen for Zambia in quite a while. When you look at most recent matches, that is why I think the opponent didn't have what you would normally call clear-cut chances. So defensively we were very well set up. Once or twice we were breached, but we were okay. At times it needed just the individual presence of certain players, just to know the presence of mind, to know where to be and to clear the lines. I think you saw a lot of that from Sunzu. In the transitions, the positive transitions, when we won the ball back, as I indicated earlier on, we tried to break as quickly as possible. On the negative transition, when we lost the ball, yes, there was immediate application of pressure. On a number of occasions it worked, especially in the second half. Maybe a bit off the pace in the first half, but second half it was close to impeccable. Just one or two notes on Lawrence Mulenga. I think he did well on his on a big stage. Yes, I know he's played for the national team before, but I think that was his biggest match. As earlier alluded, he did his basics well. Really, he cut off those pullbacks when he needed to come off his line to claim aerial balls. He did that. He wasn't really at his best as far as distribution is concerned. I think 2 or 3 times he basically passed the ball to no one or out of touch. But then on a number of occasions he did very well actually to distribute, and was a calming presence in that team. So good result. The performance, well, good enough on the day, but it's something that I think can be improved on. But generally a very good outing for Zambia on the day, and now the hope is that we can build on the same, then go into Comoros, win that match, or basically avoid defeat and qualify as table toppers. But also very interesting is that I think whatever is happening now will fit in well into the ranking system, and as you know, the ranking plays a big role as far as the seedings are concerned for the tournaments and for other future qualifiers. So overall, good outing for Zambia. Good result, a good performance, but one that has a lot of room for improvement. Let me know what you think as well. Those were my thoughts.